Rich Eisen reacts to the New York Giants firing head coach Brian Daboll. Okay, interesting news coming down on a Monday here. Brian Daboll has been relieved of his duties as head coach of the New York Giants. Bit surprising, I think, because the Giants seem to have their answer of where they were headed for the next couple of years with Jaxson Dart at quarterback and Cam Scatterbo at running back, albeit that's an asterisk because of the injury. Abdul Carter, it looked like, okay, like Neighbors, again, injured, but he'll be on the team. This was a team that seemed like, okay, we understand what the vision is. We understand the players that are going to make up this core group. Let's rock and roll. We're building towards something. And now Daboll is gone. Boom. Just ripped away. All of those players now in flux. I don't care who you are. When you are a player and you lose the guy who drafted you, you lose who believed in you and tutored you and mentored you and whatever, like Jaxson Dart is with Daboll, it is up to the organization, and in this situation, Joe Shane, because they retained the GM, they have to make sure whoever they hire, it's for that core group of players. That is number one. Number one is make sure you develop and put those players in the best spot to succeed. Most important of all of them, obviously, Jaxson Dart.
Is breaking news. Hit it.
Here it comes. And my eyes see.
Breaking news.
Christopher, what do you have over there?
Yeah, and a kind of an unsurprising move, I guess, if you watched the way the last few weeks have finished. The Giants have fired head coach Brian Daboll. According to multiple sources, Adam Schefter, Mike Garafolo, and others, Mike Kafka, the OC, is going to be the interim coach.
Okay, so listen, this is unbelievable. This basically sums up what it's like to potentially be a head coach in the National Football League. You get your first shot because you have, amongst other things, come up through the, I guess, Saban/Belichick tree. I'm sure Belichick was talking about Daboll to the Mara and Tisch family saying, hire this guy. And you also saw what he did to Josh Allen, and you hire the Bills general manager, and let's bring it together and let's go. And all he does with Daniel Jones is make the playoffs and win Coach of the Year that year.
Yeah, that was 2022, I believe.
And Daniel Jones and the Giants with Saquon go into Minnesota and boat race the Vikings and then get boat raced by the Eagles. And we all know the decisions that were made in the front office and then the inability to win games.
He means the Saquon Barkley, see you later.
With none other than Daniel Jones and yada, yada, yada. A 6-11 season in his second year there, a 3-14 season in his third year there, a drafting of a kid named Jaxson Dart, who he goes to in early stages at 0-3, and the kid has been nothing but electric when he's not concussed or getting hit.
I really thought Jaxson Dart saved Daboll's job because I thought Jaxson Dart was playing well enough and had the moxie and whatever to be the talisman for the team. And he was such a marketable franchise quarterback in the media capital of the world. I thought, okay, well, they're not going to do anything to mess this up. And whether you like Daboll or not, this absolutely does throw a wrench into this whole thing.
And they're 2-8. And Brian Daboll, after going 9-7-1 in his first year to win Coach of the Year, is fired in the middle of his fourth season with a 20-40-1 overall record as the head coach of the Giants. Yeah. And then this year with Dart, after beating the Chargers. This is unbelievable. You know how when you look, certainly and you're on the ESPN app and you're following with the dots and the dotted line parabolas and you're following a game with, on your phone. Yeah. There's always that percentage at the top of the screen about but percentage of winning against the Cowboys, Broncos, and
yeah, so they've had a lot of blown games. The Giants have not been good closing games out recently, certainly not this Sunday. Daboll made a couple of really bad decisions in that game that I guess the Giants brass deemed unforgivable. And some of those decisions were, easy. His decision to kick a field goal and things like that. It's like, okay, that's easy, like 1+1 kind of coaching math. You can't make those mistakes. And I guess the front office saw it that way.
Bears in the fourth quarter, the Giants, at the zenith of their leads in those games, had percentages to win of 92.3% against the Cowboys, against the Broncos, 99.3%, and then against the Bears yesterday, 96.9% chance of winning late in the fourth quarter. The Giants lost all of them. According to this mathematic expert, the odds of that happening is 1 in 60,000. The Giants didn't want to do this, people. I know it. I saw it with them. They love this guy. They didn't want to fire him. John Mara did everything he could to try and hold on to give Daboll every chance. And Dart has been, again, like I said, electric. And clearly part of that has to do with Daboll getting him ready and coaching him up and all of that business. Of course, obviously, it's his own personal abilities as well. But he's also learning in the National Football League. You're born into a situation. Sometimes the guy who's your coach, he's there.
I mean, he drafted him, you know, and I'm sure went to bat for him and whatever in that process for the Giants to end up taking him. And I would assume Mike Kafka, unless he gets the job, I would assume Mike Kafka is not going to be retained. So more than likely, Jaxson Dart will be entering season 2, learning a brand spanking new offense. And under a coach who probably was not in the room, unless, again, it's Mike Kafka, who was not in the room whenever he was drafted. That is tough. That is hard because you don't know now where you stand with the new coach. You don't know what they think about you. You know what Brian Daboll thought. You had all of your initial conversations were with the same guy. And now it's a whole new set of rules, a whole new set of plays, a whole new verbiage, new everything.
For just a hot minute. And now, who wants to coach Jaxson Dart in the New York City metropolitan area in the NFC East? I imagine they'll.
Well, the question is, the first question you have to ask yourself, and this might just be, you know, it might not even be realistic, but did the New York Giants just enter the Lane Kiffin sweepstakes? That is the easiest dot and dot to connect there. You got Jaxson Dart's coach at Ole Miss, the hottest coaching prospect in football. Does Lane Kiffin, does he have any interest in going from Oxford, Mississippi, in the SEC in college football and getting back into the NFL in New York and coach his guy, Jaxson Dart? That seems like the best case scenario for everyone involved. It's the best case scenario for Jaxson Dart. It's the best case scenario for the New York Giants. It's the best case scenario for Lane Kiffin to go from Ole Miss to the Giants, right? The question is, does he want to? The question is, does he want to leave college and go to the NFL? If not, it's a non-starter. And then what do you do? If it's me, I'm going offensive coach, because I am desperate to make this work. I am desperate to make Jaxson Dart, Malik Neighbors, I'm desperate to make that a thing. So is it Clint Kubiak? Do you go get the highest powered offensive mind right now in the NFL? Is that what you do? Does Kubiak see Jaxson Dart the same way that Brian Daboll did, or how he's being used right now? It's also a scheme thing. It's a fit thing. You want to bring in a coach who can explain to you and can lay out to you how he's going to develop Jaxson Dart, how he sees him as a quarterback. You know, you don't want to bring in a guy who doesn't have a plan for him. You don't want to bring in some retread, defensive-minded coach who isn't going to be able to develop a quarterback. So that is step one for the Giants. Who are those guys? Who are the offensive minds that you trust to develop this offensive core?
They'll be lining up. This is absolutely going to be one of the best jobs that's available, especially since ownership doesn't want to fire you.
Now, the question is, with New York retaining Shane, is that a problem? Will a coach want to come in and work for the same GM? That's a question. Because we've seen before, we just saw with Aaron Glenn and Ben Johnson, they wanted to name their GMs.
But with the Giants fan base watching this defense also have a negative 47 point differential in the fourth quarter, second only to the Cardinals, who, as we all know, lost a ton of games in the first half of the season in the fourth quarter, and he wouldn't make a move on the defensive side of the ball. Now the Giants have made a move on Daboll. And it's Mike Kafka who's going to have to figure out how to protect Dart and win some football games for the Giants, who are back in the coaching search. Hour number 2 on our radio side is coming up. And so I understand why the Giants made a move like this. Yeah. I totally get it.
Got to coach Jaxson Dart up to protect himself. This is now his 4th concussion evaluation.
Well, a lot of times they're running him. I mean, and
hell yeah, they're running the hell out of him.
And the 2 times of the games that where he turned it over, one in New Orleans where the ball just dropped out of his hands, he was running for his life, or it was and that's part of the offense is you're running.
Yeah, I mean, it's part of who he is. Like, you can't say, well, don't run Jaxson Dart. I mean, part of what makes Jaxson Dart good right now is how dangerous he is on the ground.
And this kid to try and show
he's going to have to figure out how to slide. I mean, some of these hits he takes are crazy. I mean, he basically got a reverse targeting on one of his carries. He torpedoed his hit. He was seeking helmet-to-helmet contact.
Well, he's a multi-talented threat, which he is, by the way.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he is.
I have numbers to back that up as well. Let me pull that one out of my stat packet, if you will. 7 rushing touchdowns this year, tied with Daniel Jones for the most of a quarterback for Giants in a season. The only other quarterback with 7 rushing touchdowns in their first 7 career starts is named Cam Newton. Speaking of SEC first-round drafted quarterbacks.
I mean, I think Jaxson Dart had 15 carries in his first game against the Chargers. The guy gets a serious volume.
He's the 5th rookie quarterback since 1950 to have at least 5 games with 50 or more rush yards. And again, it doesn't help him that they lost or Daboll. They lost Scattaboo and they lost Malik Nabers.
I mean, damn, yeah, they lost. Well, that's another thing too. Like, I thought would save Daboll is that you don't have Scattaboo, you don't have Nabers. You have rookie Jaxson Dart. It's like, all right, wins and losses. It's like, I mean, you're going to take losses. It's not really important right now. It's important for the future.
Neighbors.
Yeah.
And he's still doing all this stuff, which is to Daboll's credit. But they couldn't win games in the fourth quarter. Defensively, they should be way better and get way better results than the ones that they are currently getting.
Got talent on that side of the ball.
And the Jets having
it's a talented
won 2
roster.
in a row,
It's a talented roster.
You take a look at the numbers. And this is another thing, too, because you can't look at this stuff but in a vacuum. You take a look at the Jets' record over the last 5 years, and they're now a half game better than the Giants. And they've been brutal. They've been brutal.
They have those 4 wins this year. They're 6-4 and firmly in the playoff hunt.
That is the difference between winning in the NFL and losing and being a head coach in the NFL or losing your job.
Big true.
And again, I'm telling you, the Giants did not want to do this. They didn't want to go back in the coaching market. They don't want to churn it over. They don't want to look for a new staff. They don't want to do it, but obviously felt that they had no other choice. Hey, you made it all the way.
Another name probably worth talking about is Sark in Texas. Does he want to get back into the NFL? Names like that, like big-time offensive guys, big-time coach. This is a legit job. This is not a dumpster fire franchise. It seems like it. But as far as a roster, I mean, if everyone's healthy, you're talking about Jaxson Dart, Cam Scattaboo, Malik Nabers, Abdul Carter, talent on the defensive side of the ball. There's stuff to work with here. And if you're an offensive-minded guy like Lane Kiffin, Sark, anybody like that, you would jump at this job. You're in New York. Huge market. The biggest market, obviously. But this is probably now the top job, I think, in all of football. It is a bad time to need a head coach in football right now. Florida, Penn State, get in line. LSU, some coaches are college coaches. Some are pro coaches, whatever, but it is crazy the amount of jobs that are open right now. Let's just say Sark took this job, right? And then all of a sudden, LSU, Penn State, Texas, Florida, Auburn, all wide open. Okay. Good luck. Florida might be hiring the 8th. They might be the 8th coach down the rung. I'm interested. I'm very interested in how this plays out. I'm just kind of throwing stuff out there. But Lane Kiffin is the top domino in college football. What if the top domino in college football goes to the NFL? Then LSU's open, Ole Miss is open, Penn State's open, Florida's open, Auburn's open, all the schools I've listed. Well, then what do you do? All right. So who becomes the top domino then? If you take Lane out, let's send Lane to the Giants. Who is the new top domino in college football? I mean, who is it? You know, like, you got a lot of teams that are going to be scrambling. So we'll see what the Giants do. I would think they're going to want to make a splash here, and they got to be careful. This is not the time to go get Ron Rivera. This is not the time to go get some retread, old school defensive coach, whatever, to stifle this young offensive roster. It's time to get innovative, take a chance, go get your version of Ben Johnson. Go get Clint Kubiak. Go get Lane Kiffin. Go get Sark. Go get whoever. But if the Giants nail this coaching hire, they got some serious horses in the stable. All right, ladies and gentlemen, there you go. Thank you for watching. I will see you in the next video.